we looking at? What are we looking at in terms of this election? I know I've asked you this question many times over, but recent developments, what do you think?
Now, recent developments have thrown a bit of spanners in the works.
Explain.
These spanners has ended up making Azimio gain momentum.
Gain?
While momentum, yes.
Yes.
While forget Kalonzo's antics, put those aside.
Put Kalonzo's antics aside, okay.
Yes, because it's clear that Kalonzo is going nowhere. I think the legal document they signed has made it difficult for him to move out with Wiper. He probably can move out as Kalonzo.
Can he?
But he may not move out as Wiper. Because it's a party-to-party coalition. It's not a party-to-individual.
Yes, I see what you mean.
So the party is like a court. So Kalonzo can leave it behind and move away, but as himself.
Oh, I see what you mean, yes.
But the problem is, he doesn't have the time to mobilize the Kamba community around another entity.
And especially him as an individual.
So his currency as a floating element alone is very weak. He probably will go back to Azimio. But that is not the issue with Azimio presently. Azimio's nomination of Mother Karua has had a very positive resounding effect.
Explain.
The gender angle is very attractive.
Okay.
The argument that Karua is tough on corruption has taken on well, even though that is very questionable.
Yes.
And in terms of being a real heritage into Mount Kenya, it presents a more clear reality. Now, Kwanza had started off very well.
Okay. Until
they nominated Gachagua.
Ooh.
And Gachagua does not come into the ticket with many credentials other than a deal maker.
What about numbers? What about mobilizing? What about money?
The money is there, but that was a major consideration. Mobilizing, yes, but again, when you're mobilizing towards what direction? The country will tell itself, are we getting into another deal where we will have deal makers as our leaders?
And Central Kenya as the carrot.
Yes, so it has dampened them a little. It's possible that they will regain the momentum once they pacify Meru. The Kindiki.
Kindiki, yes.
Yes, Kindiki was the best deal they could have offered the country. It would have satisfied the needs of Mount Kenya. It would also have made peace with the rest of the country. And it would have sent a message that Hasla is looking for qualified people.
And untainted people, so to speak.
Untainted people, yes. Now he has put himself into a place where they have to explain themselves for about 3 or 4 weeks to come before they regain momentum again.
Let me ask you, Bwana Chief Whip.
Correct.
One,
yes.
Do Kenyans vote because somebody is corrupt or not? That's one. Two, and because then that begs the question of what Martha brings to the table. Secondly, is Azimio really looking for votes from Central Kenya? And because then that also begs the question of Karua's popularity in Central Kenya.
Okay, so one, Kenyans do not vote because of democratic ideals or looking for anyone with specific talents or competence. We are still tribe versus tribe. So, whoever is carrying is our flag bearer and represents the tribe. Even if he scores many goals against his own tribe, at least we've beaten the other tribe. You know, we have to be distinctly honest with ourselves. We do not have a nation called Kenya. We have multiple nations in Kenya, but we have yet to forge a common culture that defines us as a common nation.
As one nation, yes.
As one nation. And this is the reason you hear everyone saying, we want our interests represented. Okay, if you are wholesomely in Kenya, and you are not and you are not a specific group, let's say the disabled or something,
yes,
why would your tribe be a factor on the table?
What interests are these that you're talking about that is not commensurate?
What interests are those? So that everyone will say we want the interests of Rift Valley, we want the interests of Central Kenya. Central Kenya has a producer and a consumer. Simply say we want to protect consumers or we want to protect producers.
Yes. But
the fact that we blatantly, with no shame at all, are willing to defend an entity shows you that we don't have much regard with credentials in terms of being voted president. So my answer to you is that at this point, we don't have what we call a national vote.
Let me ask you, Willie, final question.
Yeah. Yes.
When do you think that will happen? What does this country need? For us to one day wake up and say, you know what, we need to be unified because this can't go on. We need to speak in that language you say, that everyone's interest is a national interest. It affects everyone, whether you're Kikuyu or Luo. We must speak in that one unified voice called Kenya. When, or what? What will make us...
You know, you asked me two questions and I haven't answered one. Let me quickly talk about the Azimio.
Yes, okay.
Azimio is not looking for Mount Kenya votes. Azimio is looking for national gender vote. That is, they're hoping Mother Karua would bring in the women. So that's one. That's answered. Let's go to the question of when do we think we will be Kenya?
When do we think so?
It can last us more than 200 years.
Oh, jeez.
Take the question of the issue of Haiti.
Yes.
200 and I think about 240 years of independence, they've never become a nation because they have continuous allegiance to sectarian interests. They've not formed a common culture. The only culture that is common to them is poverty.
Oh,
so, and poverty cannot be the means of building a nation. There are three things that usually forge a nation. One is a superior culture subsuming and taking over the other so that one culture is formed. Kenya does not have that by a long shot. No tribe can swallow the others to form one common
culture.
So that's one.
Yes, that's out.
Second one, significant adversity.
Significant adversity.
Yes, if we are subjected to such a prolonged, significant adversity, it will force us to come together to survive it, and we will become a nation. Now, we don't have that. The colonialists left before we had become a nation, and they were an important adversity to us. Ikikuja njaa ni one part of Kenya. Ikikuja vita ni one part of Kenya. So we are not. So the third that is left is for us to fumble along until we stumble on something. But education can help. The problem is we are not enforcing a common standard in education. So unapata mwingine anafanya British curriculum, mwingine anafanya zingine. Education is the one factor outside of war or adversity that can help to build a common nation. But we are not having a standardized education. If I was Magoha, I would say no other education standard. No, a Kenyan will not be subjected to any other exam other than the national exam, after which you can sit as many other.
Oh, powerful. Wow.
So now we are drifting. We are not forming any ideals. We are not taking the national building infrastructure education or the Ministry of Culture and the Information to help us forge together or government services that makes people say, I will stick with the government because I get services.
Yes.
There's nothing that is pushing us together. So you find you go to a school, the school is offering French, another school offering German. And now KDC is running Chinese language studies from 7, I think, to 9.
Yes.
We have not forcefully put in place the nation building infrastructure that is necessary. And as such, we will flounder one step to another. We can easily get to 240 years like Haiti and nothing.
Bwana Chief Whip always tells me like this. Thank you very much, Bwana Chief Whip. Thank you very much. That's Willie SORINEI, one of the guys who I speak to in terms of, political discussions, always having his finger on the pulse.
Spice.